So, now you've seen where to find those different parts on my little Bernadette over here. But what if your machine doesn't look like my Bernadette there? Well, we're going to find those same parts on my two other machines, my Viking, and over there, my Kenmore, also known as my Junker. So, let's find those pieces on the Viking first. This, although it dates from the 1980s, it actually has a lot of the same features as much older machines. In fact, it's very similar to my 1910 treadle Singer. Few differences, but really, once I knew how to work this machine, the 1910 Singer was a breeze. First, we've got over here our hand wheel. Just with the like with the Bernadette, I turn it with the top coming towards me. It forms a stitch. By the way, guess what happens if I turn it away from me? Yep, it stitches in the other direction, also known as backwards. Now, what's the next part? Oh yeah, foot pedal. Works the same as the other machine. Push to make it go, come up to make it stop. Let's look over here. Needle. Check. Needle. Looks like a needle. We got the presser foot right here. Feed dogs right below it. Presser foot lever. Where's the presser foot lever? Oh wait. It's behind the machine. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Actually, I kind of like having the lever back there. I think it's a little bit more comfortable. Teach their own. Now the next part, we're going to look for the stitch length indicator. Is it over? Here we go. You can tell it by the dotted lines that you've got there. Big dotted lines going to little dotted lines. Just with like with Bernadette, it goes from 0 up to, in this case, 5. So you've got really big stitches here, still not moving down at 0. Turn it to choose the length. Pretty simple. Then we've got the stitch, the type of stitch you want to do. Now, it's got some decorative stitches being shown around here, but if you look, there's no just straight stitch. Oh no! Does this machine not do a straight stitch? On this one, like with many machines, the straight stitch is the zigzag stitch. I know, counterintuitive, but in this case, I'll set the stitch length or stitch type to zigzag and set the stitch width, which we'll talk about more later, to 0. That makes a straight stitch. So zigzag on 0, straight stitch. Go figure. Now, let's come over to the Kenmore, aka the Junker. So called because it is actually a piece of junk, but it's got some neat pieces that I want you to see. Now let's see, the hand wheel. Over here, look at that, hand wheel, nice and easy. Pull it towards me, it makes a stitch, just like all the others. Down there, got the presser foot. Press on it to make it go. Up here, needle, just like the others. Presser foot right there, same as the others. Feed dogs right below it, just like the others. Presser foot lever, wait a minute. Presser foot lever behind it, just like with the Viking. So now what do we need? Oh yes, stitch length. Let's see, we've got up here tension, no that's not it. Buttonhole, no that's not it. Stitch width, no but came closer, and here we are. Once again, we've got the telltale little bitty dotted line going to big dotted line. And over here we have 6, 8, 12, 24, 0. Wait a second. This is different. 0, 24, 12. What's this? Remember how I told you that the other stitch width was measured in millimeters, each stitch being a millimeter? In this case, this one's telling you how many stitches per inch. American versus European, go figure. So in this case, 0 still means it's not moving at all, but 24 means you're fitting in 24 stitches in every inch. Those are some pretty tiny stitches. 12 means 12 stitches per inch, 8 means 8, 6 means 6. So 6 is a pretty big stitch. So it's a little bit different, but you know, it works just the same. Turn the dial to pick the stitch. Now, the stitch type indicator. This one actually took me a little while to find on this machine. It's actually this big button turns it. And if my machine was working and lit up, this panel would light up and show you which of these many different decorative stitches you've chosen. Way over here, I don't know if you can see on this camera, but we've got a straight dotted line and then a zigzag. That's telling you when it is selected, as it is actually now, not that you can tell, it means that you're doing either a straight line or a zigzag depending on the stitch width. Once again, I have the width all the way to 0, so it should be giving me some nice straight stitches, if again it were not a junker. However, it gave you some idea of what to look for if your machine's a little bit more like this. So, now you know the parts and you should be able to identify them on any machine you come across. Good luck!